Hello everybody, in this video we are going to solve radical equations. You can solve some radical equations by squaring each side and testing the solutions. In this case we're going to solve by isolating the radical. So I can add 5 to both sides here, leaving me with the square root of x equals 3. Now this is the positive square root of x. If we wanted both positive and negative, you would have this plus minus symbol out here, which we don't have. So to figure out what x is, we can square it. So squaring both sides is going to give us x equals 9. And now we can check that by plugging it back in. So positive square root of 9 minus 5 equals negative 2. So 3 minus 5 equals negative 2. So check, x equals 9 is the correct answer. So what do we do when we want to solve an equation with a radical expression on both sides? Well, this is going to work nicely to square both sides right off the bat. And we're going to get 7x minus 4 equals 5x plus 10. From here, we can subtract 5x from both sides. This should be pretty simple from here, but I'll keep going here. We're going to get 2x minus 4 equals 10. We can add 4 to both sides, and we're going to get 2x equals 14. And finally, by dividing by 2, we can get x equals 7. And we want to check that, so we're going to plug it in here. So the square root of 7 times 7 minus 4 is going to equal the square root of 5 times 7 plus 10. So here we have 49 minus 4. So 49 minus 4 square root should equal 35 plus 10 square root. So this is the square root of 45 is equal to the square root of 45, which has to be true because we got the same thing on both sides. So this is the correct answer. So even though I don't really know what the square root of 45 is, it doesn't matter because it's on both sides. Now we're going to identify extraneous solutions. An extraneous solution is an apparent solution that does not satisfy the original equation. So if our original equation was x equals 3, and we square both sides, we end up with x squared equals 3 squared. And if we simplify that, we get x squared equals 9. And the apparent solutions to x squared equals 9 would be plus or minus 3, because negative 3 squared would also equal 9. However, if we plug them back into the original equation, we notice that while 3 works, 3 does equal 3, negative 3 does not. So negative 3 would be considered an extraneous solution in this case. So let's try it out. So here's an equation. Looks like our root is isolated, so I'm going to go ahead and square both sides of this equation. So we end up with y squared equals y plus 6. And now I'm going to, I guess I'll just set it equal to 0 by subtracting y and 6 from both sides. And we'll continue up here. So I end up with y squared minus y, whoops, that's not a y squared minus y minus 6 equals 0. Now I know factors of negative 6 that add to negative 1 would be negative 3 and positive 2. So y minus 3 times y plus 2 should equal 0. Let's double check that. Y squared, negative 3y, and positive 2y, and then negative 6. So we're good. So we know that y is going to equal 3, or y is going to equal negative 2. Alright, so now we are going to plug in these values into the original to see if they work. So the first one I'll choose is 3, so negative y, so the negative 3 equals the square root of 3 plus 6. Negative 3 equals square root of 9. Now the square root of 9, remember this is the positive square root of 9, is 3, which does not equal negative 3. So this is an extraneous solution. Let's try y equals -2. The opposite of y, so 2 equals the square root of -2 plus 6. Here we get 2 equals the square root of 4, which is in fact 2, so this is the correct solution. Alright, let's take a look at this one. Identifying equations with no solution. So the first thing I want to do here is isolate the radical, so I'm going to subtract 6 from both sides. So I'm going to end up with -√2x equals 4. And then let's just divide by -1 so that I have completely isolated the radical. So 2x equals -4. Now I'm going to square both sides and end up with 2x equals 16. Divide by 2 and get x equals 8. So now I'm going to plug that in, try it out. So 6 minus the root of 2 times 8, so 16 is equal to 10. So 6 minus 4 is equal to 10. And so we realize this is not the case. So x is not a solution, leaving us with no viable solution. So the answer is no solution. And that was it, I guess. I had an extra slide here. I thought I had an extra one, but it just duplicated. So we are good. Thanks for watching.